everybody, it is the Narrator here, back again with another video.
Another one.
And as many of you may know, I am currently working on building scenes from the Book of Boba Fett television series. Today we're going to be looking at my take on the Tusken Raider encampment. So for this build, I started out with the speeder bike. And now, you know, in Star Wars, of course, there are many different speeder bikes, dating back even to the original trilogy. So I wanted to be sure to make my speeder bike here recognizable specifically to this scene. So I tried hard to include details that would make it stand out. Some of the details I noticed from the clips from the show were the very unique high-backed seat. I think it actually works out pretty well when you stick a minifigure back there. His head kind of rests just right near the top of that seat. And then there was also a lot of different mechanical detailing along the side of the speeder bike. So I've tried to replicate that as best as I can at this small scale, using a bunch of different gray pieces and even some silver pieces in there. And I think it actually works out to producing a pretty nice result. We'll take a little look at the minifigures. First up, we have Boba Fett with his white jumpsuit that we see from the time he spent with the Tusken Raiders. For this figure, I have actually seen many people do this design or something similar to it, where they use Han Solo's torso there and then Luke Skywalker's legs. I've also given him just a little suggestion of a gaffy stick there. After Boba, we've got the Tusken Leader, and I think he turns out pretty nicely. I've seen someone use this torso as well for this guy, but I think it is the perfect torso. It's actually from the Mandalorian ATST Raider set, but the torso features that necklace that I think actually looks a lot like the necklace worn by the Tusken Chief. And then I've also given him kind of this longer stick that you see him wielding as his chieftain stick. Rounding out the figures, I have this kind of generic Tusken Raider from this tribe. If you look at this tribe, they wear a lot of darker colors, and so I've got him in some dark robes here. One of the Tusken Raiders uses binoculars to spot Boba and tell everybody to stand down when he's coming in. So I've given him kind of that set of binoculars to look through. And then one of these kind of long rifles that the Tuskens use. Next up, I tackled the sloping tent that this particular tribe of Tusken Raiders is using. Initially, I was looking at using some of these plastic cloth pieces. They come from the Encounter on Jakku Lego set from 2016, and I like the way these look. I think they would have produced a pretty nice tent. Kind of putting them together in this fashion and attaching some rigging for them, but I wasn't sure how to get kind of the large pyramid slope up the center. So I kind of scrapped that idea. I wanted to be able to achieve those unique angles on the tent with the angling both up to the middle of the tent and the top at the same time. And so to do this, I actually ended up making a trapezoidal plate. And so with this, it allows one edge of the trapezoid to be along the ground flat, and then you can slope both towards the middle and up at the same time. So as always, I've tried to stay very accurate to the source material, and I think I've done a pretty good job with a few of the different things that you'll find in the footage of the Tusken Raider camp. I really like the way that the landscape turned out. I used a few of these medium nougat plates that I think help break up the bland nature of just tan and kind of make it pop a little bit more than I have done in some of my past builds. And you'll see the ground is mostly flat. There's of course different cheese slopes and things sticking up in a few little mounds, but the Tusken Raiders chose a pretty flat spot for their camp, and so I have kept in line with that. Overall, I'm pretty pleased with the results of this mock. Thank you guys all for watching. If you've missed any of my previous builds, go ahead and check out the playlist for this series, and I will see you guys again next time.